Hi everyone, comic book reviewer here. This time reviewing on the IDW comic of Transformers Bumblebee, issue number 1. Now, as you know, this is meant to be a prequel to the Transformers film Bumblebee that was originally intended to be the whole reboot to the whole live-action Transformers films. And the best I would say about Bumblebee and the film sequel Rise of the Beast is that it was trying to fit a new, different tone away from the whole Michael Bay films, while Transformers 1 was trying to set up a new continuity, but due to poor marketing, ended up crashing and burning before seeing the light. And the whole story is obviously meant to be like this James Bond style concept, and I think the original intention was to do a crossover between Transformers and James Bond, but most likely didn't go through because of some problems with productions and all that. So let's get on with the story. It starts off in a secret underground base. We see how one of the henchmen say that they've kind of lost their access card, and we see one of them say, "So what? I can't help you. You don't get in without one." So we kind of see how he takes him out, and turns out the guy is meant to be a secret agent known as Agent Reeves, who's obviously meant to be this James Bond character, and after using some gadgets and gizmos, manages to go in and confront his own version of a James Bond villain known as Cortel. And as soon as he finds out that Cortel is dead, he escapes quickly, saying, "Good night, Goodwills. Do you read me? This is Agent Omega Zero, requesting immediate And of course, we see how one of the cars turns out to be a Decepticon, while Bumblebee is being distracted and having to deal with being shot at. And turns out the Decepticon is known as Wild Rider, and we see him saying, "You will be serving as a warning to those who would stand in our way. Sorry, Wild Rider, but you all forgot one thing." And of course, Bumblebee shows up to save the day, takes out Wild Rider, and Bumblebee and Ancient Reeves make out. And of course, in the style of a James Bond opening, having these kind of goofy songs, female sidekicks, and over-the-top James Bond action. And we see how Agent Reeves makes it to where, obviously where he's going to meet Agent Diana, and turns out they're using a sort of fake bogus music studio with a parody of the Beatles, and right away Agent Diana gives her intel about other possible Decepticons and a secret agent who's been helping them. And the other Decepticons are obviously meant to be Runabout and Diabella, who's obviously meant to be the parody of the whole James Bond big style villain and the former love interest gone bad. And we see how Bumblebee sees that obviously director Felham has shown up, but turns out he's been killed, and a big explosion happens. Agent Reeves and Diana try to kind of get out of the burning building, and of course Bumblebee having to deal with Runabout, and ends up meeting Diabella, saying, "Always looking straight ahead, never considering alternative vibes. The pounding is for Wild Rider, you Autobot scum!" And of course, we see how Agent Reeves and Diana try to escape, and we kind of see how Bumblebee obviously has to deal with not only a former friend, but another Decepticon. And we kind of see how Bumblebee gets blasted, and we even see how Bumblebee tries to get Diabella to see reason, as he did believe in her. But of course, due to Bumblebee wanting to see the good in her, is just a reflection of himself. And obviously, Diabella doesn't really seem to show any concern or guilt in her actions. But we see how Bumblebee has to kind of make a break for it. But we even see how, much like the old James Bond fashion, the big, dumb, over-the-top villain ends up slipping up, giving the heroes a sort of getaway. And we kind of see how Diana points out everything that could happen now that Felham is out of the picture. So we kind of see how at a old phone booth, we see how Agent Reeves talk about the possible mole in that, but of course has to be ready in case of any problems, leading up to issue 2. And this is the story. So I think this one's not too bad, as I think the original intention was to do a Transformers story with a team up with James Bond, but I think probably because of the right issues or problems with production, obviously trying to fit it to the whole Bumblebee movie that was coming out at the time, and obviously it's meant to parody the over-the-top spy tropes, the kind of gadgets and gizmos of the day, dealing with the over-the-top villains and so forth. It's definitely readable, definitely enjoyable, and definitely a good callback to the old spy movie genre when it was still at its peak. So it definitely deserves a thumbs up. Still good, and still alright. So, Comic Reviewer here, signing out.